Oh, wow. This is so cool. I'm just getting like this feeling of like floating and okay, so they're telling me there's a question. What would it be like to not know myself? And so this is like a group of you that are pondering this. And where you are now is very very, how do I even put this into words? Beautiful. It's oneness, it's unity, it's love, like just source everywhere. And it's like, so there's like a group of you that are wanting to do this to explore this concept. What would it be like to not know ourselves? And what would it, just that thought alone, it like transported you in a way, to separate from this oneness. And so you decide to do this project, this experience. And so these are the founders, the whatever you want to label them, the co-creators. This is a group that you're of, and it's the creators, and you're creating everything. It's kind of like a game, but not, because it's serious, but it's an exploration of separation. And so the first so some of these beings, they decided to become the planets that would host the different aspects of the whole. You weren't one of the people that decided to be a planet. You wanted to do something else. But one of those, I'm getting emotional, but it's just a lot because it's beautiful. But one of them is Gaia. And so that's just beautiful because I can feel your connection, and you know her. You know her. And so you came from the same place. And anyway, so she and you and others, you kind of decide roles. And so there's different planets, and one is representing physicality, everything physical, and physical experiences and adventure. And one of them is representing spirituality and whole aspect of the spiritual natures and explorations. One of them is, and actually this is more than just a planet, it's like a whole area. It's like I think it's the constellations. And one of them is self-service, service to self, exploring that aspect, and densities. And they're like, they're all next to each other. They're all part of this big whole. And then there's one that is the guardians of everything, because they're the ones that are going to be the guides. They're the guides to all of the beings that are going to be created to live out these different vibrational explorations, all different parts from the whole that you emerged from. And so the guardians are the Arcturians. And you were part of the group that went with them. So that was your mission and your aspect to explore was, so it looks like there's like a council of elders, if you will, and well, this is later. This is like, it's really hard for me to establish time because it's like all happening at once. So, but I see the council and they're Arcturians and you're one of them, but you're not physical. You're high up vibration, like just down from what I felt in the beginning. Maybe it was 12th in the beginning, it would be 11th at this point, I guess. And so your area and your there's a splitting of the elders, the council. So there's like 5 of you, and you're working on the Arcturus project. And so your project, the Arcturian project, it's needing to come along faster than the others. They're on a very much slower evolution. Arcturus has more of the aspects combined. It's like it's the template. It's the template for evolution. It's the most integrated. And so it's like everyone was kind of inputting to this Arcturian project at the very, very beginning because it needed to be the template, and they needed somewhere to go, to look to as they started splitting. And I'm seeing like a disco ball, and like all the little mirrors are facing a different direction. But they're all still together, but they're now apart, fractal. And so Arcturus is kind of already developed, and these other projects are now launching. And so there's like the Lyra doing the physical, and Vega, which is in the same constellation, doing the spiritual, Draco doing the service to self aspect, etc., etc. So you were a guide to the guides. This council is the guides of the Arcturians, and they're telling me people have seen them in their life reviews. They like feel a presence of council members, and these are those council members. They're listening to all the experiences and uploading from all the aspects and all the experiences of these fractals, and they're giving them the understanding of what it's like to not know yourself. And throughout this experiment, there's really no way that you could have predicted how it would have gone, because of the dense energies that you hadn't explored before, and the impact of what that actually did, putting them, it basically was But really, everything serves its purpose. I mean, there is no bad or good. It's just an aspect. But having to watch the like devastations that have occurred because of this experiment is something that they're uploading as well, and it's changing them too. But it's helping them and it's progressing them, and they've been doing this for so long now. And so you were doing that for a while, a long time, but you started fractaling out. And I really don't see you on any other planet other than Arcturus and wherever that water world is. Okay, so let me try and feel into that. So I'm not sure if that water world is where you came from, like when you were one with Source, or if that's an incarnation after that. But I feel like it's connected to Arcturus somehow, and there's a portal, and so you can get there from Arcturus, and you do go there, and you can come back. And let's see what else. Okay, so this game's been going on for so long, and the Earth is the final, hopefully, for this group that came here originally. This is like they're hoping that this will be the final level so that they can reach integration again and then go on to something new. Because they've fractaled out so much now, and they're ready to absorb some of those aspects again and move on to the next project. I hope this is making sense. So the Earth has every one of those separate constellations. Every one of those came and put their part in here so that we could play this out on one small scale instead of a galactic scale, and have it reach a point of integration of the polarities again. They're like showing me the triangle with the polarities on either side on the bottom, and then at the top is the integration point. And so I feel like a part of you was like reabsorbed by your higher self, and like that guide is actually here now. The Octurian guide, it's like a lot of the aspects merged back in, and then now he's here at this time because this is the final level of this experiment they've been doing, because they actually are ready to move on. You're ready to move on to a whole new exploration, and then it'll be a whole nother set of aspects that you'll want to try and play out with. Now that you've gained all these experiences and all this knowledge, now you can go and do a different game. And I feel like at one point, like it's like they've become the creators again, you know. It's just so complicated. I've never ever seen anything so complicated. But so you've been a guide to the guides, and you've been a guide for so long, and you are here to try and get the humans and this merged collective of all these aspects that have been scattered and are now together, to get them to become self-sufficient. Because it's time for the Arcturians to move on too. And they're ready to become creators too. And So it's like your life purpose, you know, is to get them to be sovereign and to integrate all of those polarities and neutralize it so that they can continue their evolution, and then one day they can be even creators too. But it's like it was just this whole thing where we fractaled all the way out, and now we're coming back together and hoping that these creations of yours can become a life of their own. They can graduate, you know, they can. It was all so long in the making, and it's just time now for the next level. All the aspects, they all combined into the humans, and so this is the creation of all of the aspects, the species of integration is what we want. And we want them to be able to rise up and be sovereign and powerful and become their own guides, you know. And that's so frustrating too, because it's like we know they're capable of it, and you can see that, and you want more than anything for them to accept their position in this universe, if you will, in this whatever it is, this life, accept their position and realize who they are, break free from the game, and then, you know, we can all kind of go to the next thing. So what do you think about all that? What are your comments and questions we can explore?
I want you to just relax and know that you're doing really good and all is well. Yes. You can be confident in the information you just received and just throw any of that doubt and confusion away. Okay, so yeah. So moving forward to the next project, what do you get a sense of that looking like? I'm assuming there is many, but what would the
Your next project. Well, I see another universe, like leaving this, or I don't know what the word is for it, but leaving this Milky Way and going to another place. And it's the same group again. Like I see you, I see Gaia for sure. And so I think your next project is to play a different role, to not be a guide anymore, but to 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 create new worlds. And then, but what is the purpose of that? I'm not sure, but I see you like in a whole new place. I see it being a creation of yours, and you have partners, you know, and you're able to focus on not just guiding and directing. It's like more like expressing yourself. Like you're able to express yourself now, and you'll have a chance to like graduate to the next level, and you'll have choices. I think you could be you could be wanting to integrate and experience what it feels like to be a planet. You could continue to explore, but you're definitely, I don't see you in this galaxy anymore. Like I know that is for sure. They're making that clear. And I definitely feel like creator. I definitely feel like a project, and it might even, I don't really see it so much as a group effort. It's like your own project, you know? I mean, of course it's a group effort, but it's like you're taking the lead in it. And then you're also like, you have understudies. So you have like um baby creators, if you will, you know, like ones that were a step below that you're mentoring, and like you're taking all of your experiences that you've uploaded from all of these different aspects in this galaxy, and trying to make the perfect place for pure expression of your species. And for, it's like the next level for Octurian guides, you know, for them to be able to like have their own creations, and then and help others to learn how to create too, that we're guides for people that are ready to move on from being guides. So it's like you're helping them because you've already been a creator, but you, it was different. It was different because it was a different idea that you were exploring. The idea of duality and the idea of not knowing God and or yourself, you know, and fractaling it. So I don't see it being fractaled out the way that it was here. Like there's not so many aspects. It's like more integrated, you bigger. All the little ones are now one, and you're able to really have this creation of just wonder and love, and but then also be able to oversee the new were guides and now creators, and just like helping each other and having like this whole new universe. And it's, yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm seeing. It's so interesting, and it's so abstract sometimes, and that's why I'm having a really hard time putting it into words, because it's almost like different colors of plasma, you know, merging. And but then I see like a scene of a classroom, and like, you know, you're discussing like different aspects and how that would play out and how it's played out in the past. So it's multiple forms that I'm trying to make sense of, but it definitely creating another universe or galaxy with a different purpose.
Do you see that, you know, New Earth is part of that, one of those examples?
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely, she's there for sure. And that's another reason, you know, why you're going to be there, because she's part of your soul group.
Mm. So there is more, or there will be more new planets like that? Do you feel like New Earth is the sort of the template to see how it?
Yes, exactly. I feel like they're not there yet. I feel like it's just her and a son or two sons.
Nice.
And one of them's a portal.
Right.
But I feel like, yeah, like that's one of the reasons why they want to keep it so under wraps, and they don't want us to reveal anything about her location, or even that it's in another galaxy, or because it's like this is going to be a whole nother game, you know?
They sort of have some like suggested it's like on the other side, of what we'd perceive, the existence of all. It's a very different location. I think it needs to kind of be undisclosed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they want to just let it thrive without because it's kind of like the original intent for this Earth. They still had those hopes and plans and dreams
Yep.
for it. It's advanced now. They want more and they can experience it more, so nothing's lost. But they want it to be untampered with.
Yes.
It's really significant for them. It's not just a side project. This is really significant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like it's like so significant because of all of those aspects being integrated into the human, all of those different races, all the different cedars and all the different extraterrestrial races that represented the different sides of the whole coming together as the human, and then having that human become sovereign and having their own untainted chance to progress then to finding the whole again.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's exciting. In terms of like the lessons for the new experiences, is it just honing and mastering those higher emotions?
Yeah, that's what I see. I feel like there's not going to be densities anymore. And it's like we explored that here. And so we're going to explore the other side now and see how far we can take that. How unified and
I sort of feel like, with Arturius being that great template of whatever existence that is, I feel like it's a lower existence in, I don't know whether it's advancements or energy or whatever. So it's kind of like a middle ground. It's the missing
yes.
piece because they don't want to just replicate the same experiences from Arcturus. It's that extra, the missing link of evolution.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that is exactly how I felt it too. I love that explanation. You're so good at putting these things into words. That's what I'm still struggling with.
You're not struggling at all, really. But it's just, it's a lot to process because it feels so abstract, but it really isn't because it's
Yeah.
just putting all those other pieces that we have together. Because sometimes we feel like we're playing with different puzzle pieces, but it's the same. So it's just sort of seeing how it all connects in.
Yeah, totally. And all just a whole bunch of different ways of saying the same thing.
It's so purposeful.
Everything is, it's so purposeful.
It says
Wow.
a lot, but nothing at all.
So I also feel like you've been a walk-in before, like of a dragon, particularly.
Well, I have explored a dragon lifetime in sessions, which was interesting.
Ooh. Was it a full life?
The petitioner didn't explore it, but I get a
Hmm.
sense that I experienced the full life, whether it was an imprint or not. But I got a big sense of what it was like. Um, but I don't need to. Do you want me to give you the details, or do you want to feel into it?
Hmm. I want some details so I can see what it is that I'm feeling.
So it was a planet of dragons, and they explored and evolved into their own way of life. They did have disconnect between themselves, but they grew and mature and be able to be. They had that profound unity, and then because only certain ones stayed, and others decided to go away, but the planet was still in existence, and this planet was then started to be occupied by some sort of like refugees from other planets, and so the dragons allowed all of these different collectives to come in and have their own safe spaces to be able to do their own, their life contracts, fill them out. And so, of course, the dragons had to come in and sort of guide and be the navigators of all these different, because as they started expanding in their own numbers, they wanted to start sort of dominating each other, they had to be taught respect and unity. And so and they really sort of struggled with that because they were trying to empower themselves, but they were trying to disempower others at the same time. So what happened on that planet was trying to get everyone to respect everyone. And I think they did get it. And so then they sort of felt like, wow, we can actually be one in unity. And so then they decided, those on the planet, let's explore this again. And, and have a new experience on a different planet. Because this planet with the dragons was kind of like barren. There was some lack of, lack of things. And so they wanted to be more of a lush paradise experience. But to be able to remember how, again, because they wanted to use the skill sets that they've learned from the dragons, how to empower themselves together and be able to find back that unity, because they wanted to apply, they wanted to see if they could grow from that experience and be guided to, apply what they knew about themselves. And the dragon role was that guide, and was trying to help those have the bigger perspective and be mature about things.
Well, that makes sense then, because it's still a guide.
And so they thought it would be really easy to learn that. But then they got stuck. They got stuck in the density of it. And so that's how I can activate people, because they can reconnect and find themselves being taught those lessons from the dragon.
Oh, that is so cool. I wonder if that was before the whole thing that I saw or after. The time thing is always so interesting.
Yeah. Well, if it was a pure walk-in and it wasn't, if it was a walk-in of that dragon lifetime to prepare this lifetime, I feel like even though that dragon lifetime could have been, billions of years ago, for example, I could have imprinted that just before, being born in 76.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. It's so complicated with the imprints.
yeah, it kind of opens up every possibility.
Exactly.
So therefore, everything is possible, which is always, so that's why we just accept whatever we hear in sessions and whatever intuition we have, knowing that even though we can't understand how on earth is it that, maybe that planet doesn't exist anymore, maybe that dragon doesn't exist anymore, but yet we can still gain access to that full lifetime and still be able to be of service to those people who were soul essences then.
Yeah. Wow. So beautiful. It's so layered. What did you think about that part where they were kind of saying how our aspects are going to reabsorb? Did that feel right to you?
Yeah, I've heard that as well, that people merge, so like when people get to the new earth, all of their fractal, their like parallel lives or whatever, all merge in. And it's kind of like we think we're going to be just, maybe me on the new earth. It's not going to be me on the new earth. It's going to be, it's kind of a bigger version of me because I have then gained more aspects of myself that aren't actually unknown to me, but it will be all merging in. And so it's kind of like it is reuniting with oneself again. But it's and that's part of what people have that sense of loneliness is because they feel like there is something missing, which is those other parts of themselves.
That makes so much sense. Yes.
But people don't like the idea that they're going to be, sort of gobbled up by a whole lot of other soul essences. But it's not strangers. It is, it's your more advanced self.
That is so neat.
But then it gets confusing because it's like, well, what about their families? What about their lives?
Yeah,
What about their husbands? You
I
know?
know. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I know. It is really interesting to think about like what are the new ideas and lessons that we're going to be exploring in the upper realms, and the humans exploring those upper vibrations and their evolution be so interesting and so cool.
It is a lot more than what, and I think this is what's getting uncomfortable for people because they know that they're not going to be the same and they're scared of to what extent. What extent am I going to lose? I'm going to lose my whole I'm going to lose my whole wardrobe, my whole house, my whole clique, my whole labels, and go to this new planet, and I don't even know if I'm really going to be me. And they have this strange worry sense. What if I'm not me? And it's because their teams are saying you're going to be more than just you. You are going to be united back with more of your soul. It's not going to be your higher self rocking on a new earth. It's going to be, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as saying all of your subconscious and all of your subconscious is, they oversee so many more people that aren't soul family or aren't soul
Hmm.
entities. And so, I think I've got 8 other like parallel lives or something like that, or I had 8 a few years ago. So, I mean, not all of them are going to New Earth. Some of them are wanting to go to Source. So in terms of when I merge into New Earth, and I'll be like, ah, hey Karen, you're in here, like like it's not going to be like a 5-headed monster that
Totally, totally. Now that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense now of what they were telling me when they said like some of your aspects have already been reabsorbed.
yeah, yeah. And some of them, some aspects have gone to Source for healing, and then they will merge in to people who are on the New Earth as they go there. We've heard this in sessions as well.
Hmm.
So, just it just depends on individual people. I don't know what it's going to look like. And Kitty, like I have to say, there was a time not so long ago where I was even questioning, am I going to New Earth? Why am I going to Source? And it's kind of like, I don't know how I felt about it. It was like, I didn't feel like I was missing the party, but it's almost like I'm talking about it so much, I'm comparing so many people, getting everyone excited to be focusing on empowering themselves to be high vibrationals, to shift to the new earth. But for some reason, I feel like I am, because I'm not asking to explore it myself in sessions, it's like I'm almost feeling blind to it. Is it like it's one possibility? But I don't know. Maybe I'm just really needing to just focus on what I've got now, and like it's kind of not confusing for me, but I just had to, share my truth with you about what was going on for me, and I sort of felt like at that time I was sort of thinking, I wonder if I will need to stay here longer on the old earth, and I'm not afraid of that. But it was kind of like I still sort of feel like it's there's all of those options.
I do too. When I ask about your future, that's what I see. I see options. But I do feel like you're not going to be living on New Earth. I feel like you have, you'd rather move on. I feel like, because that's the humans thing, you know? And you're ready to move on to the next level with the other Arcturians who have been guides. That's how it
I,
feels for me.
I feel like I would like to experience the new earth just to
Yeah, yeah,
sort of
yeah.
support and feel it and just have that, like, to anchor people in. I can visualize and see like a house, that is there as kind of an anchoring point. If it's
I feel like you're gonna come and go. I do. I feel like you're gonna come and go, and there'll be like a portal that you'll use, that you'll come and anchor in the energies and connect to Gaia, and help with whatever you need to help with while you're there, you know. And also, I feel like you're gonna have a little bit of a respite at the beginning to be able to just enjoy it a bit, you know. And I feel like your higher self has helped to create the actual vessel with Gaia. And so I feel like you're going to want to experience that, your handiwork, you know, because it's like you had a hand in it, and it is part you in a way. It's like because you're a part of her, you know?
I have heard that in a session through myself. So yeah, because we also yeah yeah yeah. So it is. It's the creators experiencing the physically the a smaller aspect of it. I still obviously don't identify myself, and nor should anyone, being their higher selves, because
Oh, yeah.
and I kind of feel like, oh, when people do, it's like, oh, bless you. So I know it's just a very small aspect. And I want to respect my higher self, and I would never want to, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a toenail of her, and that is fine. I'm very comfortable like that. But every part of the body, in this analogy, is useful and significant and purposeful. So I'm quite comfortable being, a small piece. I always feel like it's a privilege to be able to be the small piece, to be able to provide the experiences back. I don't know how people think that the higher selves are their future versions of them. Um,
No, no, I don't. That doesn't resonate. I don't know how they think that either, or even that they would be able to hold their higher self in this vessel is just
I think they're
no.
talking all up one year.
Yeah, heck yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, careful what you wish for. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right?
It is, yeah, and it's,
Joe, I
yeah.
really do feel like a higher version of you, though, did come in like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Because I felt like, we could sort of say it was a shift of consciousness, but I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder if, so I already had a walk in, and I know that there is many aspects of differences. I do feel like my growth was very quick and advanced. You know, and so I do get a sense that that was a walk-in situation when I heard, Joanne's going to die in a week. That I sort of, that definitely got my attention as they said, the ego's going, or an aspect of my ego's going. I think that was they're my worries, my fears and my worries and all that sort of stuff. Um, yeah, so I'm very grateful for it. Very grateful for it.
It's
There
very
was,
similar to what I went through. How funny.
yeah. Well, I guess it's just needed. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it could have been if I had worked through, my own crap to be able to stumble through. Like I definitely feel like it's still, I still can resist like sharing my information and connecting to others because of I'm getting better because I think I'm getting stronger with it and I'm getting more confident with myself.
And I feel like you like really had high hopes for a lot of our team members who came here to help with this ascension. I feel like there was expectations, and that like we didn't necessarily really want to have to come to do this. Not that we didn't want to, but I think you know what I mean. Like it's like we were we have to come, not like the first waivers. It's more of a like the first waivers, they wanted to come, and we were kind of thinking that it would be enough, and it was supposed to be this certain trajectory. And then when those light workers were so shocked by you know this life, and they kind of went into hiding, it feels like they wanted to hide from it instead of what they came to do and just ride it out, and so you specifically came to make sure that they can't just hide anymore. They need to, like, no, this that you were their guide at one point, and now you're like, hey, I know you, I know what you're capable of, and I'm going to, and then so we all sort of feel you in that way and are drawn to you because of that connection. And that's, I think, why some of us feel like it's like you have an expectation and you're sort of a parent sort of like push, figure. And it's like, because that is what you came for. You came to make sure that this job gets done so that we can move on. Because it's like, you know, I feel like the Arcturians have been doing this for so long and they're ready for their own evolution.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But what a cool purpose that you came here for, to help awaken light workers and remind them who they are, and then they in turn will remind the humans who they are, and it's like this beautiful domino effect. I think that's so beautiful. I love that.